50 years ago, my grandpa used to say, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That was then. What about now? The share of capital income earned by the top 1% and bottom 80% shown in this chart. Startling. Just who's getting the money? Just who's benefiting from the sweat of the American worker? The CEO's pay has went up 300%, while the American workers has only went up 4.3%. The Bible says, who plants a vineyard and does not eat of its grapes? When the plowman plows and the thresher threshes, they ought to do so in the hope of sharing in the harvest. As we've seen from the preceding charts, American workers are not sharing in the harvest of wealth in this country. As a matter of fact, the wealth disparity in this country has not been this great since the 1930s. Where is the populist voice that we need today? Who will speak for the American worker? Who will speak for the people? Where are the Huey Longs of our time?
According to the tables which we have assembled, it is our estimate that 4% of the American people own 85% of the wealth of America, and that over 70% of the people of America don't own enough to pay the debts that they owe. How many men ever went to a barbecue and would let one man take off the table what's intended for 9/10 of the people to eat? The only way you'll ever be able to feed the balance of the people is to make that man come back and bring back some of that grub he ain't got no business with.
The Democratic Party and the Republican Party was just like the old patent medicine drummer that used to come around our country. He had 2 bottles of medicine. He'd play a banjo and he'd sell 2 bottles of medicine. One of those bottles of medicine was called Hypopalorum. And another one of those bottles of medicine was called Lopapahara. Finally, somebody around there said, is there any difference in these medicines? Oh, he said, considerable. They're both good, but they're different. He said that Hypopalorum is made from the bark off the tree that we take from the top down. And that Lopapaharum's made from the bark that we take from the root up. And the only difference that I found between the Democratic leadership and the Republican leadership was that one of them was skinning from the ankle up and the other from the ear down when I got to Congress.